All right, here we go. film. Yeah, there we go. Rolling.
Rolling.
Actually, it's going to go down because Sam's going to be.
That's right.
We definitely have a line going. This is good.
All right. Checkity check. Yeah, look. We got sound waves. I believe we're ready to go. Can I get a thumbs up from everybody if you're ready to be interviewed? Excellent. Got a thumbs up from Chris behind the camera too. Good. I'm Sam Irvin. This show is Asheville Notes, and today we've got Life Like Water. And I'm going to ask you the reporter's questions.
Okay.
Yes. First of all, what is your band? Tell me a little bit about this project, and let's just hop right into putting labels on it. I know artists really love to put it in a box.
Yeah.
Define.
Well, this project started when I first moved here. I don't know. 10 years ago, I started writing some of the music that became Life Like Water. And I was highly influenced by kind of Appalachian folk, but also a lot of different music from around the world. Largely North Africa, stuff through the Middle East. And then, yeah, kind of just pulling influences in different styles. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 years later, I met Charles. We had a fiddle player at the time, Megan, who played with us for a number of years. And then Charles came along, and suddenly it wasn't a string band vibe anymore. And it got groovy and funky. And yeah. Then all of a sudden, meet Jackson and meet Ian and bring them in. And the whole vibe is really kind of shifted now.
That's right. And you are David.
I am David.
Yes,
indeed.
We got the names out there.
Yeah.
Guitar, vocal, songwriter, percussionist. We've got pedal steel and stand-up bass on this particular track. Is that what everybody's playing on any Life Like Water?
No, there's a lot of different things happening. I'm either playing electric or acoustic or ngoni, African gourd harp, or even occasionally gourd banjo.
Yeah, there's some calabash. It's a West African gourd that I'll play that wasn't here today. And then also, though, I did have the doumbek, which is a Middle Eastern goblet drum. Wasn't played, but was on the setup.
Yeah, besides the pedal steel, my other instrument would be the dobro, or the resophonic guitar. Another slide guitar.
Very cool.
Fewer strings and a different tuning. So a different sound. But, when David will jump to the banjo, we'll kind of jump instruments together largely, throughout the set.
The dobro sounds more like a traditional guitar.
Kind of. It's got
fills that space a little bit more.
It's 6 strings. It's the same scale length, but it's got what looks like a hubcap in the middle. The resonator.
Right.
In the center. So you got to play it in your lap with the big bar, in your hand. So similar but different.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I'll double on electric bass and play a 5-string and get some different sounds, different tones, different attack.
Definitely. Is there anything in particular, like what are you looking for when you jump to that electric bass?
More sustain. It's nice to be able to cut through the mix a little bit more. Less of a workout. But yeah, the sustain and the presence is kind of my main draw to switching it up there.
Okay, cool. Your stand-up bass that you brought today and that you work with, I guess, often, frequently, consistently, constantly,
For the most part,
has gut strings, and I think that's really cool and interesting.
Yeah, the gut strings are nice. They're easy on the fingers. When I first started playing upright, I'd been playing electric bass for a lot of years, but it's like a huge adjustment It feels like a totally different animal. And when I was getting used to it and playing steel strings, I would just get these blood blisters on my fingers that were atrocious.
That's painful.
But yeah, and with the gut strings, they're much lower tension. They're easier on the hands. And, since I've developed a technique over the years and learned how to not play so hard and not play through my skin.
Is it easier to end up sounding like the Korn bassist,
It's easy to sound bad. It's really, work at it. It's really easy to sound bad. Sure. Yeah. Always trying to focus on accuracy and clarity, and there are no frets, so you have the advantage of being, if you find yourself on the wrong note, you can typically slide into it, and if you do it the right way, you can play it off like you didn't even make a mistake. That's right.
Yeah, and it's a really unique combination of instruments, I feel like. I want to hop back to like your influences, the genres, the folky nature of it. These like frequent refrains is really nice. There's like a catchiness to it, but I definitely hesitate to use the word pop at all. Because it pops. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the syncopation of these repeating guitar parts, I hear that Middle Eastern bit. I didn't put my finger on it until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same in my mind. Maybe it doesn't always sync up, but like I used to play more bluegrass and old time music. I still do, but not with this project. And a lot of the old fiddle tunes having the similar refrains and singing the melody, but that also happens a lot in Middle Eastern and various areas throughout Africa, where it's like you're playing this melody, but then you're singing with it as well. And yeah, to me, it's like a conversation. And a lot of the time when I'm writing this stuff, I think about it like a Japanese haiku or something, where it's like kind of paring it down to like the essence of something and capturing it in just a few words, a few sentences or phrases. And yeah, I think if it's done right, it's really cool. It's catchy, it stays in your mind, and you can kind of elaborate on it. But yeah.
I was listening to it and thinking about the questions I was going to ask in the interview. And I did think about that simplicity, and I write like overly complex stuff and write myself down into a hole, and it's impossible to achieve that simplicity, but still have the fullness. That's the tricky balance. That's the dream, right?
Yeah. I think it really, like at this point, I'm writing a lot of these melodies to play with bandmates, and to like what I was playing on the guitar wouldn't be that interesting for an entire song if it wasn't for having cool layered drums and bass and then the pedal steel. And yeah, at least in my mind, I don't know.
Yeah, the rolls are really filled out here. Bass holding it down below, and the sweetening of the pedal steel is morphing throughout. And so you get different iterations with every repetition.
Yeah.
In this like call and response. The back and forth of the call and response is nice too. Almost for every line you have like the instrumental response to it. Again, very balanced.
Yeah.
And I want to ask about the percussion. How did you because I do feel like thinking Middle Eastern, like Moroccan kind of guitar parts repeat like this, and drum parts like kind of follow that syncopated rhythm. How do you formulate that kind of stuff, and what kind of background do you have? Where else do you play? I think I talked to everybody else about playing a zillion gigs a year. Are you also doing that?
Yeah, so it's a dad band. So I mean, we definitely dog dad or kids, and so we definitely play as much as we can. I play in some other groups and just study world percussion. I like to say I was a dancer first for like 15 years. So that like little saucy thing that makes people want to move, that's kind of like where I start from. I just want it to work from the inside out. And but yeah, I've studied in town with River Gregarian, and he's got great source of knowledge for Middle Eastern rhythms and percussion, and studied with some West African teachers in town. And it's just fun to bring all those influences in. And the stuff David writes, it just seems to be really organic to come up with parts together.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty impressive. You're participating in this balance in the call and response. At least on this particular tune, I'm hearing, you're bringing that cymbal in and out to bring in more and more space. And it's almost like you're following the syncopated guitar part, but leaving out certain notes, achieving even more syncopation. Loving the inversions I'm hearing in the bass too, not always keeping the root the whole time. And the pedal steel is trippy. It just adds the dreamy element.
Cool.
All right, any more for what? Moving on from what also to who? We did that as well already. We know who you all are. Where? We're in Asheville, but how long have you been here? Where are you from? Where do you guys play? Where do you practice? Where do you feel most inspired? Anywhere thoughts to share?
I live in Marshall. Been here for Marshall. Been here in the area for about 10 years. I lived in Colorado for a number of years before that. Traveled a bunch. Spent a number of years just hitchhiking around, backpack, just being dirty, gathering stories and inspiration. Originally from Pennsylvania. I write outside a lot, so I'll take my instruments with me hiking and go to a destination and just sit, and a lot of inspiration comes from that. And also just at my house, I will put on something inspiring and just kind of jam, and I've got all kinds of fun pedals and effects and things that bring inspiration. And that's about my story.
What about you, Charles? Let's go down the line.
Yeah, Sam, I'm living in Waynesville and have been there for a number of years. Went to Western Carolina down the road. Grew up on the coast, and when I'm playing, it could be, if I'm lucky here, it's with these fellas, or got a couple other projects in the area that are not as busy but super fun. Maybe some flamenco music or some other. I used to play at Jerusalem Garden a bunch, where they did belly dancing. That was super fun. So some
cool.
of us still get together and play that type of music.
Nice. I love some flamenco guitar.
Yeah. It's wild.
Cool. I'm originally from Greensboro, North Carolina. I've been in Asheville, or I really live in a small community in North Buncombe, just north of Asheville, called Barnardsville. My wife and I have been there for maybe 8 years. But I moved here first in 2006. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time. But growing up, I was just a guitar player, in Greensboro. And I kind of transitioned into more of a student of roots music that led me into some alternate tunings. And I found some really good teachers. And so from the guitar, it went to a dobro, and then a lap steel, and back to dobro, and then pedal steel was kind of the last tuning that I got into. But
is lap steel similar to a pedal steel, just without the pedals?
Yeah, it's much simpler. It's like a 2x4 with strings in a sense that, it's an open tuning, 6-string, chordal tuning. So it's tuned kind of like a banjo, but yeah, you're moving the bar with picks, and there's more freedom within the limits of the tuning. So I can't get big extensions like I could on a, 10-string or 12-string pedal steel guitar. But I just got attracted to improvisation through roots music, small ensemble improvisation, and then really trying to work on adaptability, versatility, playing different styles, largely instrumental music. We're working with singer-songwriter friends doing original music has kind of been my calling. So yeah, it's just the progression with the guitar and kind of getting into different corners with it. But I still think of myself as a guitar player,
Yeah. it's interesting. As a guitar player, I'm really drawn to what you were doing, and it's like baffling me. You've got so much control, so much like microtonality. It's really interesting.
Yeah, you just practice with a drone, for an hour or something, and working on your ear and your intonation. No frets, so we're all in it together with that.
Yeah. Speaking of no frets, how about you?
Well, I've been in Asheville for just over 4 years, and moved here from Portland, Oregon. Lived there for 7 years, and Vermont before that, which is where I went to school. I went to a little state school up in the woods in northern Vermont. Studied jazz there. Grew up in Connecticut originally, and come from a musical family. Both my parents are pickers and singers, and my brother is a excellent musician as well. Draw inspiration most from playing with people, and a variety of them. My background is mostly in like American roots music, and I love old country music, and have a lot of people that I play with that play kind of different versions of eras from that umbrella. Playing bass and upright particularly has sort of allowed me to stay really busy and play with a lot of people. It's nice to be able to fill up the calendar with bands that, maybe on the surface level to some people they sound the same, but then this band is dramatically different sounding from the other bands that I play with. So it's nice to have a different way to express. And what I like about this band is that I don't really have to focus so much on chord changes and like knowing where those are going to fall. And it's, I can really settle into the grooves, and it's got this modal feel where you can just kind of explore outside of the roots and the fifths. And these guys make it really easy.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I was hearing you explore outside of the roots and the fifths. It's pleasant. Yeah.
There aren't any really. It's just kind of a mash. There's a root.
What else makes Life Like Water different? Earlier you asked are there other bands in town? I said it sounds very Asheville. Yeah. 'Cause there's also a spiritual element. Maybe you hate that word, which also I only have a loose conception of the category of roots music. It kind of feels like country music, but now country, the label is like weirdly blown out. So it's like pre-country music. Is that kind of what we're talking about? Like jazz and
jazz,
Americana,
and blues, and folk, and types of music that came about before recorded music.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Ballads.
Definitely blues and jazz. It's like baseball. Came from America. It's like
the American stuff.
Yeah, which is, again, that's a big umbrella going from Dixieland to...
Right. There's a lot.
I mean, I would think even the Meters are roots music to some extent.
Yeah. They didn't even call country music until a long time after.
Yeah, right. It's got that connotation for me. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Jazz and blues especially. But grunge music, don't know. It's not roots, it's branches maybe. Like later history. It's American, but not roots. And the spiritual is another just gigantic term that means whatever, or conscious music or community music. Tell me about the lyrical themes that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the word spiritual. It feels a little like, I don't know, soggy.
needs a big asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
I was really trying to disclaim.
And that's like the Asheville thing. I lived in Boulder for a while, and outside of there, and
Read some Rumi.
yeah, I read some Rumi, yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, no, there's definitely like an element of thoughtfulness and like, not that all music doesn't have thoughtfulness, but I definitely take inspiration from kind of a meditative quality. Big part of my life is meditation. I practice regularly. I'm actually leaving here and going to a meditation retreat this weekend.
Nice.
And so that informs a lot of that mentality, just kind of like trying to get out of the head and the cognitive realm and be more in my body and try and write songs that are just earthy and I used to get real serious about writing songs. Like, it's got to have this meaning and it's got to have this flow and it's got to be this thing. And I just don't really feel like that anymore. I have a very particular style, at least I think I do, that when I'm writing a song, I'm like, that doesn't quite work. That word doesn't fit. That what I'm talking about there just isn't right, But when I let go of all that and I kind of let it happen, it always forms itself in a way that is far better than what I was thinking about, or like my intention was to write a song about this thing. So in this spiritual sense, like that's kind of the connection that I would see with it. Just it's a practice, and it's like, it's not just a practice of like being better at music or like being witty. It's more about like being present and being fully engaged with what I'm doing and like really listening. So yeah, that's, as far as spiritual stuff goes, that's what I would say. It's like, it's in there, but sneaky.
Yeah. That's well said. And I think rare to some extent, again, the balance of it, not stepping over to a place that makes me go like, oh, this is coaching me. This song is coaching me at the moment.
That's the thing that I dislike about like conscious music, where it's just like, it's too on the nose. It's like, I mentioned earlier, haiku, like that to me is like, it's such a spiritual practice, not because of like, it's saying something directly about meditating or something. It's usually about everything but the human experience, and it's about letting the focus be away from the self and like maybe in relationship to the greater world or something. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of where it's at for if I get out of my own way, it feels much more meaningful. If that makes sense.
I think so. It's it's a paradox. It's slippery, right? And I'd love to hear from all of you about like, let's move on to when to even find time for music, or 90 gigs in a year. I think a couple of you have said that's pretty prolific, pretty insane. And I think at that level, not every gig is going to be perfect, right? Or like at the same time, you become elite through the experience, but also that preciousness about it falls away with more experience. Do you guys have any commentary about that, about practice schedules or how tight you hold yourself to an idea of articulating some expression that is intentional versus now letting things flow, like you were saying?
Somebody else want to say something?
Yeah, it's really hard to find time to practice. And sometimes it gets harder to practice when I think like I should be picking up my instrument and like practicing through a routine of like, a strict warm-up exercise, and then like going through scales and modes and having like this rigid kind of disciplined session where like you make yourself work for it, and that can make me resistant to wanting to pick it up. And then the best time to do it is like when I have free time, the instrument's already out of its case, because sometimes that can be a barrier too. But then just like picking it up and flowing, and especially with the upright, it's like every time I pick it up, I kind of have to learn how to play it again. Just like figure out where all those notes are, because there's nothing to tell you where. You just kind of have to hear it, and then I just like to pick it up and see what comes out and try to make that be in tune. And that's when the stakes are low, and you get to just like not follow any rules and just try and find something that sounds good. And if you can latch onto something and develop an idea from there and turn it into something great, and if not, just keep flowing and playing. But yeah, it's hard to find the time to do it.
Yeah. Especially being so busy, that solo time. I play a lot of solo classical guitar, which necessitates practicing a lot. I've had a lot of non-musicians recently tell me, like, you know how to play guitar, you don't need to practice anymore. Like, you can let it go. And I'm struggling with it, you know. I like a hardened daily routine, but I'm trying to open up and not be so rigid, like you said.
Yeah.
And just play for fun.
There's got to be a balance with it, I think. Like, three of us have kids, you know, and we all work, and we all play in this band and multiple others, and like life things. And so I know for me, taking extra time, like I wake up at 6 o'clock every day in order to get my things done before I go to work, and then I play a gig, and then, you know, all the stuff. So yeah, I think practice is super important. And I think that if you love it, it doesn't feel like work. You just got to make the time for it. I mean,
yeah, I would say my experience with that has been definitely finding balance and flow. I got to do drum corps for a year, and that's kind of like you focus on that one thing for 12 hours a day for a year, and it's awesome. And lots of reps and structure, and
You built up some credit.
six people just standing over you, like looking for anything to critique and fix, and it was great. And then also now I find myself just looking for the time to sit down and have like a flow meditation state with it. The things I learn now are a lot more random and spread out across different, you know, styles of music and techniques, and I kind of like it that way because I never know what's gonna influence something else. You know, I might learn a rudiment or a West African thing, and then I'm just throwing things against the wall for different projects I'm in, and all of a sudden something fits like delightfully well that I couldn't have planned. So I kind of like the more randomness to it now. But I think the foundation of like we've all had to take the time to practice and find our voice on our instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could add that a lot of the development through practice, maybe in hindsight, is trying to sharpen the intuition a little bit, you know, because a large part of improvising, this improv music, playing solos largely as a lead player, you know, there's technique. And I look at music, playing an instrument, you could look at it like getting better, you know, in that grand scheme could be either lowering your floor or raising your ceiling, you know, so trying to think of it like I'm learning something new versus I'm trying to, you know, improve something I already know. But in the moment you could...
Well put. That's good.
Yeah, you could just come up with something, like Ian said, that's like, delightfully, how did you put it? A happy accident,
yeah.
you know, essentially that it could almost seem too simple, but I think there's some psychology that you have to go through with sharpening that intuition to be able to like let it be simple if it needs to be, because technique can override that decision making a little bit, and you could think, oh, this is only like a subtle movement, you know, or not. It could be a really flashy thing, and it's good to be able to have the tools to kind of react that way, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I've gotten in trouble kind of in my own head thinking about me evolving as a player where I can, what do they call it, resting on your laurels, you know? Like sure. That's like my fear in a way of not evolving, you know, or my intuition not really getting stronger. It's really my goal. I want to be able to just react in a really pure way that has a direction that could go a myriad of different ways, that I'm not tethered to just one idea or one lick or something, you know. Mm. And I think, you know, a big part of that is listening to stuff that instrumentalists that don't play your instrument, you know. You get in that world where you're just kind of, it's good to listen, but I listen to a lot of singers, horn players, drummer conversations I find to be really interesting. So, yeah, it's that universalness, and it's, to me, it's like developing some psychology that gives you some confidence in finding simplicity in things. Because, you know, it's like a lesson to think that's what it should do, but it's like, I could have done that 10 years ago. You know? Sure.
What serves the song, right? Mm-hmm. And like getting a better grasp on context, maybe. And if you're listening to other players, you know, learning whether there are other players in your role, like a lead singer, or like listening to a trumpet where there is no lead singer doing the main thing, mm-hmm. but also learning what the other roles are responsible for so you don't feel like you have to pull all the weight. And there's a lot of different kinds of music and a lot of different contexts. You know, people make music for a lot of different reasons. And I think, you know, watching like a metal dude shred harder than anybody's ever shredded, and, you know, because he's practiced scales for like thousands of hours, is awesome. And writing music that is emotionally supportive to, you know, like communities and in sort of a broad human sense, I think is wonderful too. You know, so that brings me to the next question. Why, you know, why do you guys do music? We've got what, we did what, who, where, when. I mixed them up. Who, what, when, where, why.
We know where we're at. It's all right.
Can I request as a dad to take the lead on this one? Because I will have to go pick up my little boy.
Yeah, man.
Sure, yes.
And that's one
we can wrap it up pretty soon.
Yeah, I would say that's one reason I do those for my little guy. I think about this a lot as a dad. Like, you know, it takes time. There's times where I need to be away from him to do this, and that can be hard. And I also like that it feels like a really primal part of myself, like especially with drums, just like it feels very alive when I'm super in it. And so kind of think about when I'm older and my son, as he becomes more aware, like I want the wild parts of me to still be fully present for him to witness. I don't want to kind of have shrunken into whatever job I'm supposed to be doing to make however much money I'm supposed to be making. It feels like I want my cup to be nice and full, so I can kind of, feels like really important to have him see that and bear witness to that.
Mm. Absolutely. Yeah, pass down the human. That's cool. Different roles for a dad as well.
Yeah, and he, you know, he gets to, I'm excited. He's going to be older, so him being able to come out to shows and, you know, we drum together at home. But yeah, just that like primal, like we're all whole, it's already here, just bringing it out.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to leave, but yeah.
That's okay. Good note to go out on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I was like, I want to say something on this one before I go.
I was going to suggest it, actually, because I was looking at your clock.
Yeah.
Thanks for being
much,
here,
brother. Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
We'll talk soon for sure.
Sir, yes, sir. Guys, be well.
You just dropped the phone.
Yeah,
Thank
pleasure,
you,
brother.
Great passes.
Yeah.
All right, some whys, and maybe wrap in some hows if you want.
Whoa.
Yeah, similarly, yeah, like I said, my family is is pretty musical, and I've been around it my whole life, and yeah, it's been a great way for my family to connect. We actually just had our first performance as like a family unit, like official performance in October, and it was pretty funny to start a band with your immediate family. It's a funny way to bring the family dynamic into and band dynamics all together into one. But no, it went great, and yeah, it's been our kind of our way to really express ourselves, and then I've carried that through with friendships and chosen family along the way too.
Mm-hmm. Connecting with others through music.
Yep.
Yeah. It's nice to not always have to find words for everything.
Yeah. I don't consider myself to have the gift of gab, so it's nice to express myself that way instead.
You wouldn't expect?
No.
You seem pretty charismatic to me.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, why? I don't want to say what else would I do. But, I mean,
That's a very valid reason. Yeah. Or the conditioning over
I'm trying
time.
to go back to my childhood. I think my dad, I can remember he had a Gibson J50 guitar that he didn't play very often, but I remember on maybe every other Sunday he would like restring it in the living room, with some old English polish, and it would kind of just sit there with these John Pierce strings, and I wasn't allowed to touch it, Just maybe as a 10-year-old, that kind of like, you want what you can't have. Maybe, I don't know what attracted to me, but it was, just like growing up listening to the radio, riding the school bus, music was an extension of what we were doing. And it's kind of like you get a guitar or a drum set or whatever, and it's like a basketball goal in your driveway, and you can kind of get good at it. But when you join a team, when I was in my first middle school band, it just like changed my whole dynamic of my social life and my free time. So, it was what else am I going to do pretty early on for me that, and luckily the people I was with were all kind of that way too. So we all still play music, although they're in New York and other parts of the country. But yeah, it's just trying to create a relationship with music that I just always want to have something I'm working on some capacity. It could be like a thought or a technique or a progression or some sense of harmony where I'm driving and I'm just thinking about even a minutia of like something I don't know yet, that I'm always trying to feel like I'm learning something. And that's kind of the North Star for me, is just keeping that alive. So I have to kind of declutter some stuff in life to make, room for that, because there's a lot of distractions, but
a lot of sacrifice to focus on something and enjoy it. It's like an acquired taste, right? Of course, to put work into something and be rewarded from the effort of it is kind of what you're saying, right? That's
it comes in
that's a major goal.
Yeah, but it's like that notion of you don't know what you don't know. Like when you feel that, it's beautiful. That's what I'm.
The mystery.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's so much to music. It's just like an incredibly difficult thing to try to learn from the get-go, that it's just an extension and expression. It's kind of an overused term, but as human beings, that's what we're here for. And so it's just an avenue for me that was the brightest,
Yeah, express it before you depress it or repress it.
Yeah, I like all that. My voice is really raw from singing, but I would say I didn't grow up in a musical family at all. Neither of my parents play. My brothers never played. I didn't have any. I grew up like way out in the country in Pennsylvania, and my youth was largely spent being in nature. Lived on this piece of property and out in the woods, but two things. My grandpa had this old guitar that he never played. It had like 3 strings. It was never in tune, but something about it, like I was always drawn to it. And
They got you on that, David. They get you on anything.
yeah, that's how I learned 3 strings and the truth.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, but I about 15 or so, like going into middle school, like I had no like understanding of even live music being. It was like a concept. It was like, oh, it's on the radio. Like music, I loved it. I always was deeply into music, but my parents never had like a record collection or like a big stereo. It was like you listen to music in the car. And I almost never saw live music. It wasn't around, and my parents' family didn't do it. Didn't go out and see music. So when I was 14, 15, I got into middle school. I met a couple kids that were, my one buddy was playing bass guitar, and we were all kind of getting into punk rock. And it suddenly hit me that like, oh, you can do this. You can play music. You can make music. It doesn't just have to be what you hear on the radio. And from there, I just got like obsessed. And like, I think music, it really like, as cliche as it sounds, it kind of saved my life because I was going down kind of a dark path, got into a bunch of trouble when I was young, got arrested, all kinds of things. And my parents like freaked out, put me in this like youth group program, and the pastor that was there was a musician. He played guitar and was a songwriter. And that was my first like connection with people, my peers and this guy that were playing, and I just like latched onto it. I was at home, started just hiding out in my room, started playing bass guitar first, listening to Rancid and NoFX and all these old punk bands, and as soon as I had that outlet, it was like a life raft. I just like jumped, I like held to it, and like wasn't trying to be good, wasn't trying to be like technical. I was just trying to express myself, and I wrote music before I ever learned really how to play music, if that makes sense. Just like slamming on the bass guitar. My buddy played drums, and yeah, from that experience, it taught me the like emotional and maybe that like spiritual element of music, that like it's this force of expression and an outlet. And when I finally like later in life really dedicated myself to like understanding music, and I'm still very much in that process, it's become kind of like what Jackson was saying. It's this like, it's so vast and there's so much to it. And there's so many layers to it that when I sink into it and just focus on that alone, like go into it, let the world kind of drift away, it is this like meditative experience that just keeps me going, keeps me wanting more and more and more. And yeah, I don't know exactly why, other than like kind of like what Jackson said too, like what else would I do? Like it keeps me going.
Really?
I mean, we all work jobs and have to make money, and like, God, I have a lot of responsibilities, but music is just, I ask myself all the time, I'm like, why do I love it so much? Like, what is it about? I don't even really understand it, but I follow it because it feels right.
Well, you can do it together, but it's also a very individual, it's a personal thing that you share with people.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Like music will always just be the feeling you get when you hear good music. You know, it's like that, what you want to be alone with, you know, but to come out of your room and then go hang with your friends and feel that together is like a different thing, but it's also part of why, you know,
intimate.
It's shared and individual. So some things are like that in life, but music's probably the more emotive one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that, and I love chatting about it with other musicians instead of just being solo in my studio, crunching away, grinding, and turning knobs and
Fun
trying.
too, though.
It is
Yeah, that's
fun,
hard.
yeah.
You know?
But really inspiring to hear other perspectives and share. So thank you so much for collaborating, being interviewed, and being recorded. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good time. Good way to spend a day.
Any last thoughts? You have a platform. You can communicate anything to the
subscribe.
infinite internet.
I've said a lot of words. I feel satiated.
No dangling threads. Well, are there any shows coming up? I'm not sure when I'll release this in the next couple of months. Anything you want to promote in the spring?
I mean,
know
yeah,
it's-
I have a bunch of stuff that I'm booking right now and a bunch of stuff coming up, but I, off the top of my head, can't remember when things are happening. I know we're playing at Sierra Nevada sometime.
There's a Life Like Water website? Question mark.
There is a website. It's rather outdated. It needs some work. And we got a, Instagram that also is neglected. But that's the most current thing, and Facebook and all that. But yeah, I mean, if people are interested, you can check us out, social media and all that. And definitely got gigs coming up. Got some stuff locally. Got some stuff out of town. And yeah,
A couple of great albums to listen to
couple
already
albums. Yeah.
on any streaming service. Not Spotify though.
It's on
Neglect
there.
Spotify.
But I'm backing away hard from Spotify. So we'll see what happens.
And this will be out soon. I guess by the time anybody's watching this, the song will be out. So
Sweet.
enjoy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been real great. It's been fun. Appreciate the time and the attention to the music, and yeah, creating a space like this for people to share random nerdy thoughts.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
What about you two? Any upcoming things to shout out in spring or messages? I will not let the end of the show be succinct. I'll drag it out.
Yeah, I've actually my winter schedule is pretty slow right now. Don't have a whole lot to promote, but I'm sure there's something.
I know, so I'm like, I don't really want to look at my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Right, sure.
The only way I can keep anything straight is by having a calendar that hangs on the wall.
Yep.
That I physically write on. Otherwise, I'll screw something up.
Yeah.
Hard to mess that up.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah, I don't have anything pressing that I'd like to promote. I'm just working all the time in music and playing with my friends, and I know we're busy in July.
I mean, we got quite a
In
bit
the
of stuff
summer,
coming
we've
up.
got- maybe.
Me solo and duo stuff with Charles, and then some trio stuff, and then the
Yeah.
full band stuff. Pretty much starting in March. There's gonna be a lot happening, but yeah,
Yeah,
Cool.
I'd say I've got like 8 gigs down with you.
at least.
So we're-
Yeah.
It's filling up. It'll be good.
Yeah, it's only January, halfway through January. So
There's some good
there's
range.
time.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
Although it's crazy, people be booking up real quick these days. It's kind of nuts. But
Yeah, way in advance.
yeah. Anyway,
So go out and see live music in and around Asheville, in a certain radius.
that's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks again. I'll chop it right here. Hello and welcome back to another mixed demo. This is episode 3, Life Like Water. Their song is entitled A Hole in the Sky. That's the single that I'm producing. A pretty groovy, catchy song with some Middle Eastern guitar parts, some trippy slide pedal steel guitar, some cool bass with plenty of inversions and some interesting hand percussion stuff. So you can see all of that's pretty much laid out over here on the left. I'm going to try and hustle through this. My last episode was almost 2 hours long. That's too long. Nobody wants to watch that. This mix also, they're getting easier and easier. As we went, we comped and chose the best takes. there's always a time factor of having other projects take precedence, it being a couple of months before I get back to start these. Luckily, I didn't have to obsess over which takes to use. So that part was pretty much done. What I did was come in here and, of course, got right to the percussion part and sent the kick, quote unquote kick. He's playing a cajon. So there was a mic on the back that gave us more of this sound, and a mic on the front to capture the backbeat, along with the subtleties of his ongoing 16th notes or whatever. So I call this quote unquote kick and snare, even though it's really the same instrument that he's hitting. He's got cymbal, and then I did a parallel compressed in the box digital, another cymbal, kind of fatten that up. And we've got the overheads, which I kept pretty clean. All of this so far I've kept pretty clean. It's a real acoustic sound. Let's listen to a little bit of it. So, yeah, I didn't want to go too overboard right off the bat with over-processing it, right? So the overheads of the drums, very clean. This quote-unquote kick is heavily processed to boost that bass, right? We're always looking to hit the sub. So this and the stand-up bass got pretty lifted there in the low end using my Maag EQ4M. This is sort of a combination of phase 1 and phase 2. So in my other episodes and generally my process, phase 1, we're going to be choosing the right takes and lining everything up properly, checking phase issues to see if a mic is farther away, it might be a few milliseconds behind another mic, which might cause phase issues. So lining up the sound waves to eliminate those phase issues, very important. Also, matching the levels if there are multiple mics. So on all of these, there are multiple mics. We've got the guitar that the singer is playing, both dry and his pedal board. We've got 4 microphones on the pedal steel guitar. He brought his amp, so put a 57 and a ribbon mic on it. Tried to capture his instrument, a mic directly on the pedal steel, dry, and his board. Bass, we got ribbon mics placed along the bass. I think one was kind of up where the neck meets the body. One was a little lower, so a little bassier. Then the RE mic, I forget where I had placed that, but the RE is just great at capturing low end. So that was one of the main mics that I ended up using. I think a room mic with the TF and his DI. So balancing all of this stuff, really intuitive, listening to each one and finding the one I think that just at first blush sounds best and then blending the other ones into those. I didn't really find much redundancy. I thought using so many mics on a stand-up bass, for instance, that I might end up not using one, but even if I don't want it to be obvious, so his DI, right, still getting a little bit of attack from that, but that's pretty low in comparison to the other ones. Same with the room mic, which is giving it a little bit of space. All kept mono for that one, although the pedal steel got some stereo on it. The guitar over here is muted, so that's not actually the guitar. We've got the guitar processed here, and that means that this stuff is the guitar. A little bit of stereo on the guitar as well. I reamped it before sending it into the processing. You can see the balance of the drums here. There are so many drum channels because we got extra takes of a cymbal here. Oh, that's chime. So chime and then this cymbal. So put those on different channels so I could, process them however I want, even if they're multiple mics. So kept the overheads for this cymbal. Same for the chimes, looks like. Multiple chimes, and really panned those to each side. This cymbal pans across, so that's another part of phase one, is kind of deciding some panning approaches. I think that's a really cool effect. Same with the chimes here. They kind of open up as they go. And the voice, not much to do on phase one. It's mono, of course, and simplified. Unlike my album where I recorded my voice with 5 microphones, that was pretty dumb. This, I got a really nice mic, the miktek CV4, a tube microphone going into a nice preamp, the Neve 5211. Now might be a good time to show a lot of this gear. My rack overviewed a lot of the recording process here. When I was reamping the guitar, I added a stairs mic. I love doing that for some natural reverb. And one effect, I think this is some drive, the MXR chorus pedal and the Moog phaser. But I believe it's pretty low in the mix at the moment. Yeah, barely audible. So I could boost that. Got some notes back from the band already, from the band leader, David. Yeah, he wants a little bit more grittiness in the guitar, more percussion, more bass, a couple other notes here. So this is far from over, and I've only talked about phase one. When it comes to phase two, I'm using some of this gear. So, of course, we've got an EQ, the Neve 8803, distressors, EQ4M, and the master bus processor. That's my analog chain. And here we've got, my interfaces and some preamps, the API, the Millennia, the 5211. Got an effects rack, some miscellaneous pedals on top there, but all the mini fogers and moog fogers. The amp that I used to reamp, that's a 57 custom twin Fender tube amp. Some synths, I don't think that those will get any play on this album. And then we've got some mics that were used, not pictured. I'll end up using this SSL, these faders, to real-time record some volume automation. And I'll use the Big Sky for some reverb. That's the gear that's being used. And in phase two, I used it. I set up this main mix here, and that's what we were listening to at the beginning of the video.
The work of the earth to hold and to offer. The work of the law to claim and divide.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds like I put some reverb and delay on the vocals, but that's not final. Haven't done the effects yet. That's phase 3, and phase 4, mastering it. But as I went through phase 2, I preserved this dry mix. So all the channels after processing, I slid down here, and it's all going to a dry mix. Whereas post-processing, it's going to the buses. You can see that this is processed, so I've recorded that. And these buses go to the main mix, so we can listen to the main mix versus the dry mix. Let's do that. We'll start with the dry mix, and then we will listen to the processed.
Work of the earth to hold and to offer.
So that's pretty cool. The vocals are a little weaker, obviously, but I think that's most noticeable because that's the main focal point of this part of the song. But everything fits into place once you've EQ'd it together, added some compression to accentuate where it should be pumping or get it to play nice as you're kind of fitting it into the mix, bringing up some of that quieter stuff to accentuate the character. You just get this impression of clarity, even though part of that process is adding saturation and distortion. So we could go bit by bit here. I'll just show soloed some of the cooler processing that happened, maybe without the before and after. Just we can check out the back of the cajon. I don't know if you can hear that unless you're listening with nice headphones or a sub or something. There's the front of the cajon that's been doctored quite a bit. Eventually comes in with a cymbal. And the overheads. One reason I did not, you may hear it back there, some faint guitar in the overheads. So that's one reason I didn't process the overheads too hard. Guitarist and the percussionist wanted to record together, so we DI'd the guitar, but you could still hear him playing acoustically across the room in the overhead. So if I compress that heavily, which I don't know why I would do that for overheads anyways, maybe a parallel compression situation, but we would have brought up the quiet guitar, and I guess that's no big deal because we've got the guitar in the song anyways, but maybe it's different takes being used. They could fight each other. There could be phasing issues. So right now it's just way back there. Don't know if you can hear that, but yes, my studio is currently not set up for a whole band to record at the same time. There's no isolation, and so recording everything one at a time, which is time consuming, but I think it also provides the opportunity to get a perfect take. I think I really am of the mind that artists can convince themselves that a take was fantastic when it was not. Just as time consuming to have the whole band record together and then go part by part and double check that everything was as it should be. Whereas when you're recording everybody one by one, the pressure's on, they better get it right. Let's listen to the bass. Yeah, I was getting a little bit of a clacky sound on the bass from Ian. By the way, we had Ian on bass, we had Jackson Dulaney on the pedal steel, Ian Wade, Jackson Dulaney, and Charles, what was Charles's last name? And Charles Furtado on percussion. So Ian was giving me a bit of a clacky take, which could be the way that I set the mics up. And I was able to eliminate a lot of that with the distressors. I think I got a nice sound. I feel like bass is one of the most frustrating things for me to mix because that growl, that bass guitar growl, or hear the stand-up sound is like so full and sweet. Either way, like just love the sound of bass. We all do. And unfortunately, the roll of the bass is that low end, and you lose a lot of the high end when everybody else comes in. So a lot of the character of the bass, of course, that's why you compress it so hard, because you're bringing up some of that quieter stuff. But even still, the most important thing is to get that lower octave to fill out the sound, and you lose some of the articulation and the swell of the bass when everything else is in.
Go down and fetch some water, come back and split the pie.
Now again, I had notes to turn up the bass and turn up the percussion, so that bass element, low end element in both will come up and it'll be a little bit more aggressive sounding. I think that's good. I got some advice from an old jazz cat one time that you should feel the bass and not really hear it. And I think that's the case. The guitar. You know, it sounds a lot grittier. It sounds more distorted when you're listening to it by itself. With everything else, it sounds quite flat.
Go down and fetch some water, come back and split the pie. This too's revolution.
What to say about the guitar? You know, at this point, I had been mixing. I did all this in one big old 9-hour day or something. So the guitar was one of the last things that I did, and I actually had to do it a couple of times, missing a couple of settings on the analog chain. And you know, that's a danger. I guess I talk in these mix demos about the imperfection that has to be embraced because of the lack of time. I'm doing these projects as a trade with the band. An opportunity to practice my stuff, you know, build skills with my new gear since the upgrades last year. So this is some pro bono work, so to speak, and I only have so long that I can dedicate to it. With this guitar, I had his dry signal, his pedal board, and then I reamped it, so I sent it out through the tube amp and captured that with a 57 and a ribbon mic. And that 57 does not play nice. So you hear it breaking up. So I believe that 57 ended up pretty low in the mix. Yeah. But always better to go a little bit too low than a little bit too high, right? And this stuff becomes really permanent when you run it through the analog gear. So you've got this guitar now with that blend.
Breathe deep the luscious sky.
With a stairwell mic. Which I should get an EQ on. And these effects. Which I captured pretty hot. They're not quite peaking, but might redo this one.
The work of the law to claim and divide.
Yeah, so we have the guitar, then the pedal steel. Trippy instrument. So the next phase is to add effects, and we'll see if I can accentuate, bring out that trippiness. The whole song has this kind of spiritual nature to it. Definitely don't want the effects to go overboard. I think there could be a danger of a redundancy, maybe, or a silliness, a kitsch feeling, I think, of too many wacky effects going on. But I think certainly there's an opportunity to stack them and build some tension. There is this pretty metal part. It goes into 7/8 a little later. But that's definitely the climax of the song, and getting a little metal there, I think, is going to be great. This is where it is for now. Phase 1 and Phase 2, check. I'll be back in the next video to talk about effects, get the volume automation going on, and just kind of finish up the mix before Phase 4, where I master it. Okay, here we go. I believe when I left off, I had just finished talking about the dry channels, all the mics that we had recorded with, and sending that through the analog gear. I really regret not showing that in real time. That would just be like a huge pain to edit together, showing the specific parameters of each analog device for the, how I'm using the chain on each source. But anyways, all of that is in the distant past now. I've gone through and added effects, and I've already gone through the mastering process too. So the finished product sounds like this.
Bound by greed without expiration, blind to need like birds in the night.
That's hitting. It's pretty loud in my headphones. Of course, part of the mastering process is adjusting the perceived loudness in relation, in a balance with preserving the dynamics, the distance between the loudest sound and the softest sound. Want that contrast to be strong, but also want to squish it and pull it up to where it sounds super loud. So as you can see, that took me 5 shots and made it happen. So I'm going to mute that for now and go back to this main mix. Let's see if it's working.
Bound by greed without expiration, blind to need like birds in the night.
Quite a bit quieter. Much quieter there. You may need to turn up your volume as we continue to explore here. I didn't do this video quite as close to finishing this up as I meant to, so I'll be remembering stuff as we go here. The last few tweaks were so minimal. I came in and pulled down the bass by just like half a decibel. I pulled up the vocals a bit. Maybe we can look at that when I talk mastering. But before that, there were these bigger changes, adding effects to each voice. So let's start with the voice itself. This is the original voice.
A hole in the sky for each generation, lost in thought and paid to close our eyes.
First of all, I added some reverb through the Strymon Big Sky MX, which, it's a digital pedal. I use the actual pedal, so I've got some control over the knobs, but a digital version would probably work out. Inside the box would probably be just as good. Would love to get the Lexicon PCM stuff. Haven't invested yet. So anyways, we've got a plate.
A hole in the sky for each generation.
Opening that up and then blended in some Hall on top of that.
A hole in the sky for each generation.
Yeah, a little bit of a longer tail there, opening it up even more. And then, this singer specifically said that he wanted just drenched in reverb. So we've got this bloom. And this one I played the fader. I rode the fader on this one, and you could see I'm bringing it in and out
A hole in the sky for each generation. Lost in thought and paid to close our eyes.
Very cool. I think you get this like hush happening on it, and that just feels like another instrument almost in the context of the whole mix. Let's listen to that.
A hole in the sky for each generation. Lost in thought and paid to close our eyes.
I'll bring it out a little bit more.
Bound by greed without expiration. Blind to need like birds in the night.
Yeah, so hopefully you can hear that coming in. Now we've also got some in the box stuff happening. Plugins were used, just a good old de-esser, and could have used that inside this Nectar program, but I think I wanted the de-esser before the reverb, and I used this after I recorded the reverb, which I do believe this has its own reverb happening and a delay way down in the mix. All this stuff so subtle, you can see that the mix is very, very low on all this. A chorus, an EQ, giving him some body in the low end of his voice. Just a little bit of compression. Remember, I already did that with the analog chain. All this EQ and compression. So yeah, that's the voice. Mainly, the only effects are those reverbs. And at the end, sort of actually on the choruses, but so subtle you can't really hear it until the very end. We've got some doubles, some other takes that he sang in the background.
This dude's revolution, this dude could change your mind.
And this slap delay, which is, it's low pass and high pass, and the left and right channels have different timing on the delays. A little teeny bit of lo-fi stuff happening, some distortion and saturation, and a little bit more saturation here, just to degrade that sound a little bit and take it away from the front.
This dude's revolution, this dude could change your mind.
So hopefully a subtle effect there that adds a little bit of gravity and width there, especially at the end for the very last line when we're finishing up the song. All right, let's get a move on. This video is going to be way too long. Low pass on the kick, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's not actually a kick, it's a cajon. So the original already had a lot of that low end information because I boosted it quite a bit in the analog chain. But even more low end, we're pumping. There's an envelope in the Moog 101 that's going to open up as that hits. Give it some more shape there. Now this one's pretty wild. Got some effects on the snare. Sounds totally wild by itself. That's the Freak box, which has an oscillator track the incoming sound, and has another envelope this time on the pitch of that oscillator. It's going through another couple of effects. I don't know quite what. That Freak box is the main one. I think maybe it's going into a flange or a chorus. The cluster flux, I believe. You can see that it's stereo, so definitely getting the stereo effect out of that. By itself sounds nuts, but in the mix it really helps kind of sharpen what I'm considering to be the snare. Again, it's the cajon. Let's listen. Okay, yeah, some wild stuff. And now
Go down and fetch some water, come back and split the pine. This dude's revolution, this dude can
You can see I'm kind of using it to bring out the backbeats here. Next, phaser on the cymbal. The best part of this was sort of an accident. You can see that the mic that's on the cymbal, I'm bringing in and out. He's not playing the cymbal throughout the song, but I feel as though it'd be a little too obvious to bring the mic in right when the cymbal hit, and it adds, since it's panned over to the side, kind of opens up the drum sound on our way to the cymbal each time. Now that's super subtle. Wouldn't expect to really hear that, but you can see here the cymbal hits. Hopefully it sounds a little less like it's coming out of nowhere. And then we've got the cymbal phaser, because I just love the phaser on cymbals. Brought it out a little bit there. So, like I said, this cymbal mic is capturing kind of his whole hand percussion set. It really comes into play on our way into the bridge over here. Let's see. That combined with the snare effects there just gives it this wild rush. Especially in the finished product, not hearing it up. It sounds like I'm about to be interrupted. Hey.
I thought you were talking to yourself.
Nope. Well,
You
kinda.
are.
Yeah. Okay, what was I saying? Let's listen to this master. Yeah, so you can hear that kind of settle in there. We really liked that so much that we tried to copy and paste it and have it carry throughout the bridge, but it just did not line up. The rhythm was a little loose there. So, yep, phaser on the cymbal, phaser accidentally catching that snare there. That's it, nothing on the overheads. We had this one moment with chimes. They gave me the chimes clean. So we have the original chimes. We have these other instances of chimes. And all of them together give us a wide picture of the chimes. Now, we've also got the chimes, a little bit of a delay on the chimes. Again, a stereo delay with different times on each side. And if I'm not mistaken, oh, that's why we're not hearing it, because I muted it. There we go. Yeah, so that's so fun to have it sort of ping pong back and forth just for a moment. If you're listening on headphones, that's really pronounced. Let's talk bass. We've got that original bass. Now that's already a combination of 5 microphones that I check for phase issues. We're just going to get so much more color out of it once we add in some of this other stuff. The low pass filter, you see that's pretty uniform throughout the song, although with a couple of crescendos over there. So just the low pass. And that's with no resonance. So there is this wah wah. It's a slow envelope there on, again, the 101 low pass filter, the Moog Foger, but really just capturing that low end. Then putting it through a drive pedal. Which on its own kind of does sound like garbage, but gives it a little bit more power together with the rest of it. Let's listen to just that. Yeah, I sort of process that drive, you know, in my mind as just like girth, like like grit at the bottom. It did get like an auto wah effect. So that really harkens to Les Claypool for me. And I'm bringing it in. It's pretty subtle because it's just one of 4 voices here, or 4 effects. But adds a little wet definition there, and really comes into play in the crescendo. You know, I can always hear that in the mix. It kind of pokes out for me there, that auto wah. Let's see if we can track it. Yeah, you hear that right when I start it? Just... I'm so proud of that little moment, this, or something like that. I wish I could make it happen more, but it's just one of those really sweet, nice little moments. I'll back it up a little bit. Pretty sweet. I'm still listening to the master on for all of this stuff. Let's listen one more time without the master. Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so then we're moving down to the guitar. The guitar definitely had more work to get the tone that we kind of wanted. And it's tricky because there's slide guitar, there's a pedal steel guitar, and there's this main guitar riff. I didn't really want this main guitar riff to be very bright. I wanted it to be tucked in right above the bass. At the end of the process, during the mastering process, we're usually cutting some of that mud around like 300, but unfortunately that's exactly where I wanted this guitar to live. This song is in A, I believe, and so there's a lot of like drone notes at like 50, and for the guitar like 100, 200. So those overtones around, you know, that octave 200 and a little higher, that's still very, very low. And octave up from that, 400. So now we're talking, you know, in that mid range is just hovering around that potentially muddy, problematic spot. Let's listen to just that guitar. The drone notes there. Bow. That's going to be at about 100. Which, of course, that's where the bass is living. You know, I'm really taking out a lot of that. Now, I will say, I think one of the mistakes that I made was that I am often prioritizing the dry signal. And because we recorded the guitar at the same time as the hand percussion, I couldn't record the amp as we went. And so this process signal is a combination of the dry signal and me reamping it. And I still made that dry signal the loudest thing. But that meant that I needed to come back. I changed my mind and I wanted more of the ribbon. So added back some more ribbon after the fact. This ribbon is capturing the tube amp, and it's crunchier than the dry signal, of course, and in this processed part. And looking back, I should have made that just the primary thing with the dry signal very low, if any, right? Because I could just take that dry signal, run it through the amp, and then boom, that's what I've got. The sound that's coming out of the amp. That's what we really want to hear ultimately. But getting more of that dry signal dulls it out. Maybe you hear a lot of the pick. getting some more ribbon. The ribbon is bi-directional too, so more room sound whenever I'm adding more of the ribbon in, so more space. And then just really wanted more definition too, but again, not trying to get in the way with a bunch of overtones of other instruments. So added the 57, which is also on the tube amp back in, but this time with an octave on it. Very low. It's cool. Kind of its own effect too. I don't know what kind of effect you would call that. Maybe almost like a ring mod or something. But I'll bring that back into the fold here. And when it's all happening, you know, very, very subtle. There are a couple of parts I took it out so as to not distract when there's just solo guitar here. You could hear that octave at the end there. But that's not all. We still have the proper guitar effects, some overdrive. Let's go down and check out this overdrive. So of course we're getting some crunch. Now this is not the Foger or the Mini Foger drive, which is my favorite drive. I already used that as I was reamping. I captured this effects channel. And so this is like a combination of the Boss overdrive and the Tube Screamer, the Ibanez. You know, both super famous overdrive pedals, reliable. People all use them all over the place. Then we've got the delay. This is the Foger 104 delay. It's adding a little bit of gain, distortion, and this maxes out at like, you know, 1500 hertz or something like that. So more low end warmth analog sound. This is a coveted pedal, the 104 Foger. Then we've got this effects channel. Phaser, you can definitely hear that stereo phaser in there. Also, that Jimi Hendrix pedal MXR, chorus, and the Mini Foger drive there, giving it some more weight. And then the Stair microphone, natural reverb. Shoof, so let's put all of that together. And now you got a guitar sound. Now this was fun, you know, one of the blending them all in, you can see that there's a lot of movement in the volume automation, and I used 4 channels and sort of played it like an instrument, my UF8 SSL, like these faders. There are certain parts where I want kind of all of them to be crescendoing. There are parts where I want the effect to really come out. Creating some shapes, and this is around the singer. Kind of making it smaller and then creating more space by bringing that delay in. And in the context of the full mix, kind of got what I wanted.
Go down and fetch some water, come back and split the pie.
There's some definition, but also it's staying out of the way of the pedal steel and the singer, staying in the background. I had another producer friend say, like, this is the main riff of the song. It happens throughout this whole song. The whole song is this guitar riff. He's like, you should bring it way to the front. That's like the core of the song. But I'm of the belief that this guitar riff happens 1,000 times, right? So you hear it a couple of times, you hear it 4 times, 8 times, and you can assume that part is still there. It works its way into the background.
Hole in the sky for each generation.
This sort of popcorn sound, you just hear the articulations in the background.
Lost in thought and paid to close our eyes.
So it's actually like this, it becomes this intricate, almost like tabla pattern, almost like a hand drum that has many notes that's being played with many different velocities because of the delays happening at different times. It's a cool effect. I'm happy about where I got that. The pedal steel guitar was way easier to add some effects to. I used the avalanche here. So the original sound, although I will say one of the problematic parts of this was getting it to be less noisy. I had this hi-fi guy in here. He had a really nice amp, really nice instrument, and I made the mistake of he dialed it in where he wanted it, and I asked him to turn it up so it would hit the mics a little harder. I wanted to hit the preamps a little harder and get more saturation, but turning messing with his gain staging created a lot of noise in his setup. So that means a lot of noise reduction on the back end. And I wonder how much tone I lost by, just using spectral noise reduction to get rid of like the hum and the hiss and the buzz. So that's a little troubling. Adding the avalanche run, not troubling at all. It's very cool. You can see that it's just there on the whole time. This pedal is super cool. It's reverb and delay, and I guess it's like a feedback knob, the amount of repeats. And so when you want more of it, you could turn up that feedback, and it's just gonna create more repeats and kind of more of a pad. Let's listen. So I'm playing this, and when I feel like I want more, you can hear a lot of variation there. Another troubling aspect to this, and I've since made the fix in my studio, but I had no way to get I only had a reamp box, a mono reamp box, which means that I needed to reduce this down to mono from the stereo that I had created to process this through the analog chain. Because there were multiple mics on this too, so created a stereo spread, down into mono to put it into the avalanche, a walrus canvas reamp pedal to change the impedance to the proper level for the avalanche to treat it like it's an incoming guitar signal and not distort. The lesser of two evils was to not just have line ins, which might cause unwanted distortion, but rather to have one mono input of that fixed impedance coming in for the avalanche pedal. Then the avalanche's stereo reverb. So we get a different stereo image that is comprised of the mono being split into the algorithms of the pedal. It turned out okay. In the mix.
Lost in thought and paid to close our eyes. Bound by greed without expiration. Blind to
you could see in the automation of the slide, I really love like the end where it's kind of noisy. Let's see if I can find one of those spots.
Fetch some water, come back and split the pie.
That's a good example. So I just love like the kind of, what would you call it? The extreme, the end, the extension of whatever phrase he's playing.
Change your mind. Climb up the highest mountain, breathe deep the luscious sky.
To me, that's the really capturing the idiosyncrasies of that instrument. Those little noises that the player might even be, self-conscious of. Oh, I want a smoother transition from this note to that note. But really, the messiness in there is what I tried to pull out to give it a more natural sound. And this is a really natural sounding band, not getting too wild. Even when things get pretty crazy, still sounding pretty acoustic. Let's go back to listening to the master here. I'll talk about that a little bit. So in order to master it, I sent it through the 8803 Neve EQ. This is my analog chain, and pretty much just use that to scoop out some of the mids around 300. I sent it through the EQ 4M, boosted the lows, especially the sub. I had a hard time deciding what I was going to do at the 160 band, so I popped that up just like a half a decibel or something like that. Cranked down 650 up on 2.5, quite a bit, and then used that air band all the way at 40, up 3, maybe that's 3 decibels. So really pulling up the air on the high end and the sub, so smiley face. Then dialing in the Portico 2 master bus processor. I used the stereo field editor there to widen it and give it more depth, some mid-side processing there. Used the compressor pretty low, below 2, in terms of the ratio. Brought the threshold down until I was getting a couple of decibels of reduction. Although I had cranked up the quote-unquote kick of the cajon, all this low-end stuff, so that that was really hitting the compressor and limiter harder than anything else, which I don't really know what that means. I guess the quiet parts and the loud parts get squished together, right? So we're getting more of the quiet parts, especially of those bass hits, so more presence, I think, in general. And yes, I used the limiter, which has a soft knee. It's like this musical limiter that doesn't quite hard stop. But the real challenge was getting all of this to work for this kind of like build up. Everything, you could see so much volume automation is working its way up, whether it's in the main buses or effects, like the snare effect you can see is coming up. All these bass channels are coming up all the way to this point, and so everything, all these guitar effects, everything's getting more and more intense during this breakdown. To the point that the songwriter actually asked me to tone it down a little bit. So I took the note, and you could see I created a little bit of a downward volume automation for the main mix that everything's going into. And between that, I had to find the sweet spot for bringing the entire volume of the main mix down. It comes up for choruses a little bit. And I'm bummed to see that I left off the last chorus, but this is a little louder than the bass line over here anyways. And we're on our way out, so a nice easy landing. But anyways, had to bring all of this down as sort of a volume trim. This is what fed into the analog chain, bringing down the volume so that I'm not peaking anything on the way out, including this mix, as everything gets super loud here. And then bringing down the limiter, which again doesn't stop everything, bringing down the limiter again so that I'm not peaking on the way back in here. So turning up the gain, finding that sweet spot between the makeup gain and the limiter on the master bus processor is a skill that I spent some time practicing and learning and ended up with a nice middle ground. And because I spent time zeroing in on that, ended up not having to add too much after the fact because it's already pretty loud. I had to add 6 decibels, so I guess that's pretty substantial. Let's go through here. Teensy bit of focus on the vocals. This is what I was talking about. Brought the low end down a little bit more. Multi-band compression. A little low end focus. Tiny bit. A little bit more poppiness on the bass. Multi-band stereo width. I love this clarity module. It's like a dynamic EQ. Same with the stabilizer, but I don't like it as much. It gets really harsh really quick. So teensy bit of that. An actual dynamic EQ, one placed at 300. And the maximizer, I tend to turn down the upward compression a little bit. Keep the character somewhere in the middle. And I do cycle through some of these to see which I like more. Sometimes crisp works, sometimes 2, and I often find myself using this modern. Maybe that goes well with the more modern choices on the Portico 2 master bus processor. I did add some silk. The red silk boosts some of the more of the higher overtones for a more modern, refined feel. I did also use Soothe 2. Small change to the rock and roll. I just cycled through some of the presets and maybe made some small tweaks. The most important one is turning the mix of this down. So, this is only ever hitting stuff at around 3 decibels max to soften it. And so we...
This two's revolution. This two could change your mind.
we end up with that final product. I hope this has been interesting at all for anybody to watch. And I believe that's it. Yeah, can't think of anything else that I want to talk about. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I've also got this room verb. So everything feeds into sort of this master verb, and it goes into the main mix alongside everything else and is part of the master too. It's funny. Did I mention this? It's worth pointing out that the room verb, it is low pass, so things don't get muddy. And the space that I chose, a forest, because they're sort of an earthy band. It's funny, somebody got some impulse recordings from a forest, and that's the reverb that I'm using in the background here. That is a fun fact about this song. It's got some real forest vibes in it. All right, I'm Sam Irvin. This is the mix demo portion, phases 3 and 4, effects and mastering for Asheville Notes, episode 3, part 3, and hope you enjoyed it. Have you listened to... Here, will you hold that?
Cool show. Spaceship. Yeah. Love it.
Sweet spot.
Hey, thanks. The windows are open because we just blew a light bulb in my big light box.
Super stinky. No.
Yeah,
We gotta open the window.
not good.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Yeah, man. Cool space.
Thanks. It's a perpetual work in progress.
Yeah, I get it. I've been perpetually trying to start my work in progress in my house.
Sure. Hey there.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm great. How about you?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. I'm Sam.
Charles.
Yeah,
Nice
welcome
to meet
in.
you, brother.
You too. You can set up right here.
Cool. Sweet space.
Lely splitter.
Yeah.
So you can go in, and then we'll send one to your pedal board and one direct in.
Sometimes
So I guess usually I'm measuring to be equidistant from the snare drum, but I think the most important thing is probably your cajon. So I'll just make sure that these are the same distance away from that.
Sweet, man. Trust your judgment.
Good, I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah, I'm good at staying in my lane. I'll be the hand percussion guy.
What you talking about? You're gonna be singing harmonies on this song.
Yeah, you don't want that. And then we have to release it. Ooh.
Are you gonna use the microcosm?
Maybe. See how it comes through.
That's such a great sound, man.
I know, I love it. It's such a weird thing to add, but it like if you do it subtly,
Yeah.
it's good. I mean, I have just
textures. And...
yeah, exactly. Peaking thing.
Sounds like it's working.
It's working. My signal is super hot, so it sounds like it's already kind of maybe peaking.
Yeah, let's fix that.
I have this equalizer that just like juices everything up, which is awesome. But whenever I'm playing, I always have to tell the sound guy like turn me way down the mix because it's gonna be my signal is blazing. So it's something that we probably do need to think about. Just because at the end of this song, there's a section that it goes into 7, and if we're playing to a click track, it's gonna be interesting.
That's true.
Probably gonna have to stop it and then punch in at that part in 7, and we could either do it without a metronome or we could set it to 7, whatever's easier, and then it goes back to 4 after like a couple measures. So
I'm not actually sure what I will do with the click track or have you guys on the map,
Mhm.
but if I wanted, it's better to have it.
Even if we just did 8 notes and just took it away from being 4 and we just pulse 8 notes from that, that would be the way we do it.
whatever works for you,
That's possible.
because I'm gonna play to you.
Yeah.
I like it weird, man. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, when it goes to that 7 part, I don't really care. You know, it's just a matter of like keeping it tidy for them because they're gonna come in and be playing to some pre-recording. It's not like visually connected. So, am I supposed to be facing this way?
Oh, no. I might just not use that camera angle.
Say like just record the back, my back.
Yeah, why not? Maybe it's catching me.
It is
Over your
catching
shoulder.
you. Yeah, totally.
If I'm... We'll go ahead and get this recording.
That's always good.
I think so, yeah. I think we're pretty much good. All right, let's try it.
Good enough.
Fantastic.
For vocals. Yeah, that
It didn't line
very
up.
hard to get that pause right coming out of that 7.
I had my mnemonic device already. I was so excited to use it, and then it didn't work. It didn't line up with the click somehow.
Yeah, it's just so fast.
If there are an even amount of 7 measures, then the quarter note would work just fine, right?
Yeah, it feels a little funny just because of that less eighth note each bar. So it does line up, but it also, every other bar for us that's gonna be an upbeat. So it's gonna sound super funky to us trying to keep the quarter note in.
I think what we could maybe do is kill the click.
Yeah.
And then just play the rest of the song without, even if it slows down, it's the end of the song,
Mm-hmm. That's a natural thing for it to happen. Yeah.
Works for me. So I'll just nix the click.
Right there. So right where it starts right there, the click could drop out.
Great tune.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited about getting the other fellows on it. Never played like a brand new song in the studio.
Yeah. Thanks for the kind words, man. Yeah, he's always writing cool stuff. And then it's like, all right, what are we going to do with it? Figuring out our parts is so much fun.
Yeah.
I bet. It is great. I've been listening to a lot of it.
Sweet.
It's so catchy. The refrains are nice. It's got this mountain. It's very Asheville.
Totally Asheville.
Yeah.
In a great way.
Sweet. Yeah.
Have you lived here for a while?
I've been here for about 10 years in the area. I mean, I lived around the area. But.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Where did you come from? Well, you know what? I'll save it for the interview.
There you go.
Let me go through these parts. I feel like I might be hearing some distortion on something. So I can't tell if that's distortion or if it's something buzzing purposefully on yours.
There are snare wires. I think it's just snare wires because I'm doing ghost notes.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to sound like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like there's anything rattling. Yeah. It's funny because it's like a snare, but it's not constantly a snare.
Yeah.
So you only hear it other than the bass note. The bass note kind of does it, but
No, I think I like this going because it has nice separation between bass and snare.
It's funny.
Also
It
the
does sound like
appreciate.
peaking to me, like a little bit. Just like
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm registering it as panic, but I will not panic if it sounds good to you guys. Which part do you want to punch in?
Just that last section after the 7 part where it comes in with the vocals there, because we cut the click, and so now we're playing, and the vocals are synced up with the click, but we're not playing to the click.
So do you want me to turn the... Oh, hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome in.
Thanks.
See you, brother.
Good to see you.
Did you sneak in the middle of that?
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I'm right in the shot.
Well, so it goes.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ian.
Ian, Sam.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
Yeah, you too.
Pleasure.
What's up, man? Chris.
Chris, good to meet you.
Nice to meet
Ian,
you.
pleasure. Nice boots.
Feel free.
Yeah. It's all
I think I'm out of headphones.
It's all good.
All right.
I know the song.
Okay. That felt pretty good.
That sounded pretty good.
Is pretty good what we want? Or do-
I'll take another pass at it.
Yeah.
We'll listen back to it.
Less bleeps and bloops. I heard like 1 or 2. I was like,
On your end or my end?
mine.
Okay. Tighten it up.
Yeah, that's right. It's funny because it's like that's such a hard section. Then coming back to all the lightness, I'm like, ooh, don't break anything. I feel like an elephant in a tea shop or something.
You know what you gotta do is just tighten all your muscles and squeeze it in.
Yeah, you really tense up, right? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's give it another go.
That was the right question.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that. will just keep going. That was good.
That felt like the best all around take.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, I do too. There was a little bit of like slurred in my guitar playing, but it wasn't anything bad. I can live with it.
Cool.
There's one extra note upbeat that seemed lucky. It was nice.
It did sound good. I liked it. Upbeat. Oh,
Yeah.
on the guitar?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One
That was
kinda extra note
like
was
fingernail like scratched.
it worked out.
But it'll hide well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about that.
That seemed good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was tight. We were locked in on that hit.
That's
so
right.
Gotta get that breath.
I always
in
feel
there, baby.
safer when I look directly into your eyes.
I do too. Yeah.
Locked and
It's home
down.
for me.
That needs to be tied into the video right there.
That quote?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try my best.
Yeah.
I always feel safer
Dramatic
when I'm
black
looking
screen
right
with it
there.
in white text.
Let's listen from the top. And I can unmute it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It
like
can be
tight. They're not just like
It's all right. I'm like really solidifying my parts in my head here.
Nice.
It's like, because I can.
Nice.
So what I really need is I need a little bit of you anyway, like
yeah.
just
well,
so I
just a
know,
little bit.
so I know what part I'm in, and mainly I just need
Mostly
Charles.
need- we all just mostly.
And
need
that's so
Charles.
affirming, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
There's that late snare.
You can always fix it on your end too, right, Sam?
Some stuff.
Like a late snare is easy to
That's
fix.
that's like for me. I think that was the thing that would be like, ooh, I would want that fixed or to
Just nudge it over.
Yeah,
That shouldn't be too tall. Can we try and find it? Because I'm not
yeah.
sure what you're
So it's
referring to.
It's earlier on in the song before the 7 section.
Yeah.
That little guy. I do hear it.
There. Yeah. Oh,
Mm,
I mean, suppose we could just take another pass at it, but what time is it?
almost 12:30.
Yeah. What do you think would be the easiest?
It's always better to get the full take, I think. If we're noticing it, we're all in the room, maybe another
Yeah.
take is what I would recommend.
I mean, yeah. If you want to, if we have the time for it, I would. I definitely don't want to leave that in. So I mean,
Well, I mean, this is the most kind of crucial part, the foundation of everything for Ian and Jackson.
Yeah.
We don't have to do the full thing, right? Because we got the back half of it. So
Right.
just
Come up to
capturing
that
those
part
first.
where it drops out, maybe.
Why don't you guys shoot for a full take?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Cool.
And if it gets fluidity at the end, we don't got to worry about it.
Let's do it.
All right. Pretty damn good.
Well
Yeah.
done.
All the way through. You feel good about that?
Yeah. We did it all the way through, and yeah, feel good.
We can listen again. I thought it was the best take all the way through up until the very last bit. I'd like to A/B it with you guys, the last one and this
Yeah, I
one.
agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For after the 7 part, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah, we were synced, but not quite as synced.
Yeah.
But I still think maybe we overdub a little cymbal there,
Yeah.
just to make it fatter. But yeah, I felt good.
At the top of the stairs, so everybody knows.
Me first.
Oh, also there's a cat up there, Potato. Please don't let the cat down into the studio.
Man, I had a cat named Potato too.
What? No
I'm not
way.
even kidding.
Dude,
I was a
very
kid. Well, I
cool.
was like a teenager. So, or no, I was like 13. Yeah.
Nice. Maybe it's reincarnated.
As a black cat.
No, never. No, that's really unlucky, dude.
I mean, shit, that's how my life's gone.
Hey,
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that you were hearing and that I was also hearing was the old vocals not syncing up with those parts. It was like,
Yeah.
but pretty sure that's all it was.
Cool.
I think that's a solid take.
Yeah.
I liked the end too. Yeah, more than I thought I did.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to
But-
listen to that with like real scrutinizing ears, but I was like, so far so good. And then it ended. I was like, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that symbol hit's important to get right.
Yeah, it'll feel good too. Just to let the air out of all that tension.
Do you maybe want to have him just do that
Yes.
real quick? Just
I want a clean chimes too.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
All right, everybody hold their breath, I guess.
You say when and I'll hit it.
Not now. Don't listen to him.
That's when I always get in trouble, man. When I listen to Ian, we get into all kinds of hijinks.
I'm waiting for silence. Is it still reverberating a little bit? Okay, yeah.
Fight.
So that was the most meditative experience of my life.
Yeah, I was taking me back to that sound healing game. All right. That's so funny. I look at my phone. I have a text from someone I haven't talked to in a while. It says, "Hey, have you been following my post of what's been going on with Sweet Potato?"
Interesting.
Another cat.
Oh, another cat?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like, I hope so. I want you to know what's going on. I am not. I've been off social media for like a year and a half, Sam. So it's so funny for somebody like, "Hey, did you see my post about my cat, Sweet Potato?"
You did not,
I
indeed.
didn't. No, I hope the cat is alive and well. But other than that, it's like, did you see where I posted that thing about that sandwich I ate? Like, it feels like that to me after a year and a half away. I'm like,
I haven't mic'd a double bass in a long time.
The thing is a beast.
Yeah. this is my burden.
So, do you have any tips about what we should do?
Probably like ribbon or large condenser, like right around here, and then probably a condenser, like 2/3 down the fretboard, like a foot away, probably. That's usually what how I've been set up.
I think I do want to use this RE20 dynamic, like on the body.
Sure.
And then you mentioned a ribbon mic. I think that's a great idea. I've got stereo ribbons, and maybe I'll use those, like you were saying. Got a great sound to it. It's warm.
Yeah, I love this thing. Gut strings help. They're so high maintenance too, though.
What are they made out of?
Sheep intestine.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Old school. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
But you can see they fray. Depending on the light, it might not be so.
Yeah, I
easy to
can see it.
So and like you can tell where it gets the most action because this is all dull and this has a little bit more life to it. But so I have to take a fingernail clipper,
clip off the
trim those, and then take like high grit sandpaper, and then sand it down a little bit, oil it.
Nice. What kind of oil you use?
It's what I have is like a specific gut string oil, but like walnut oil is supposed to dissolve pretty quickly. Because you don't want it to like linger. You want it to just like wipe off easily and dry. But yeah, that helps. And then you get like, I think like 6 or 7 years out of them if you're lucky.
Oh, that's pretty long.
Yeah.
Are they expensive?
Yeah, it's like $365 for a pack of 4. Yeah,
65.
it's like 100 each for a gut string, and then the low strings are synthetic core and synthetic wine. So they look like steel strings, but they're low tension. And I do like a bunch of slap stuff too. around town? Yeah, quite a bit.
Are you like a full-time gigger, or are you?
I'm a full-time woodworker, and then music has kind of always been my main thing, but my side hustle is a full-time job.
Yeah, I hear that.
Building furniture.
That's wise.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and I just back up a lot of people around town. And stay busy that way. I did like 91 shows last year.
Nuts.
Yeah, and it was a lot.
Yeah, I felt like 50, 60. That was too much for me.
This year's off to like a slower start, kind of off the bat. So I don't know if it's going to be quite as crazy. Which I'm looking for more time to get outside and do other things also.
Yeah, I can't do the late night thing very often.
Yeah,
that really messes me up.
Too. It's been a couple. I'm like not drinking this month. I've gotten a couple offers for last minute gigs, and it's just like, I don't think I want to go hang out at the Cork and Keg and get $60 at the end of the night. This Friday.
Sober.
Yeah.
drinks. Yeah.
I tried the drink non-alcoholic beers thing, and like if you drink like 4 or 5 non-alcoholic beers, you'll still feel like shit, kind of.
Yeah. Mocktails though. There's
Yeah.
some pretty good mocktails out there. Still, you couldn't drink like 4 of them.
Right.
Sugar,
Yeah, totally.
The rent must be super high.
Where is the third room?
Third room's on Market Street on the 2nd level, like right next to there's that vegan restaurant right there.
Yeah,
Laughing Seat. Laughing Seat.
Yeah,
right
kinda
next
like-
to Laughing Seat.
Yeah, like how you got it right
Didn't
now.
even realize
Actually,
that. I've heard people talking about it, but I haven't been.
We're gonna do a couple more. It's pretty cool. Just for funsies. I feel like the sound of your band would work with third room. It's
Totally. I'm good friends with the owners. I can link you up.
Okay. I haven't even like really looked at. I've just seen a bunch of electronic stuff there.
Yeah, lots of electronic stuff. Like they have Yamaha coming.
Oh.
They do, and they've had like Moe's.
They need an opener for Yamaha?
Dude, they were looking for one actually.
Really?
Yes, Wolf asked me. I wonder if he probably found one.
Probably. It's funny because probably like 4 or 5 years ago, when ISIS was still a thing, Yamaha was coming and we were going to open for them.
When what was still there?
ISIS?
Oh, ISIS. I never went there.
That was great. It was like one of my favorite venues. I love that.
I got
was
married
it?
there.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm divorced though. But
Yeah, jinx. As soon as it closed down, you know.
exactly, yeah.
I love that spot.
It was great.
Saw some good music there. Played there probably 4 or 5 times. You got the red light. Okay, now we got literally as I said that. What's up, man?
That's close. It's right up the street.
It's
Actually taking me to a parking lot that's like the exit.
yeah. Come up that where it says "Do not enter."
Are you feeling ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
yeah, I'm good.
Let's try it.
Jackson's coming. Maybe just wait 1 second.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
We just got all this gear in. Enough mics there?
I know, I'm
Like
not.
3 or 4 more?
I probably won't use all of them in this, and I probably won't
yeah,
continually.
this is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That sound good.
Can I get your DI too?
Yeah, of course. It's stereo, so if you've got a TRS,
Oh, okay.
um,
And then split it off.
yeah. Well, or you could just do It's the second channel is a transducer behind the fingerboard that picks up the slap, which you don't really need.
Oh, okay.
For the,
So I should use TS and just use what it's going to give me out of that?
yeah, that'll just give you the piezo.
Yeah, that's what
It'll
I'm
just
looking for.
split the, I guess, yeah, it gives you, the tip is the meat and potatoes.
Okay, let's see if we like that.
This is Jackson.
Hey, Jackson. I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Chris.
Welcome in.
Maybe I'll just go sit down for a minute.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I'll take those.
Don't need to be the 10th eye on you.
Yeah.
Your shoulder.
But we want all the breath and the background of the
There are a
take,
lot
you
of
know?
mic setups
All with different types of reverb.
and different levels of delay.
Yeah.
Yes, of
And
course.
pitch modulation.
Space.
Cool.
Have you seen those where they're like the new pickups? They're like submarine, something or other, where you put a secondary pickup on guitar or whatever instrument, and it picks up each string individually, and you can set different effects on each string.
Wow.
That's over the top.
It's pretty crazy, but I've seen some videos of people playing some really cool shit.
Yeah, I feel like this will just be mostly educational for me. So I can listen
Totally,
back
yeah.
and like, no, this is what a condenser will do on the double bass.
Nice.
You know, I think the RE is going to pick up more
Good
of the
idea.
bass of it, and the ribbons are going to be like what you're recommending.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
this is good. And then will you play a little bit? Because I think I got the DI. Yeah. Okay. Great.
He also doesn't come in until like it's playing.
I think it's only a
Oh,
matter
really?
of bars.
Yeah.
You can just.
So I don't know if you need that click at all.
Oh, good.
Right. Yeah.
I thought you were on one.
Yeah. Good point.
Cool. All right. Well, here you go. Yeah. Cool.
Pitchy, but getting warmed up here in A flat.
Yeah, did that to you.
Yeah.
Is the mix good for you? Guitar's like super hot in my mix.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know you were like, I want Charles.
Yeah, no, it's I got everything. Yeah.
Adjustments aren't hard to make if you have any requests.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think I'm happy. I think I just need another go at it. Felt better, but I'll do one more.
Great.
Yeah, and there's a couple things where I'm just, like in real time in rehearsal,
Right.
felt like it was working, where now I'm like hearing it under a microscope a little more. I'm like, keep that, fix this.
Yep, feel that.
Better, and then I fell off at the very end there.
Yeah, that hit definitely.
It was early.
Yeah.
Yep.
But honestly, like that would be super easy just to like,
Mm-hmm.
because that's literally all he does.
Or punch in at from there to the end.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah. Did you like everything that came before more than the first two picks?
Yeah, I feel like I could do one more. I feel like my hand's starting to finally like loosen up a little bit, and I'm able to target those notes with a little more accuracy each time.
If you wanted to do one more full one, I think that might be good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sweet.
I liked the second one the best, but I don't know if it's because of my focus or,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah. I got another full one in me for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good until the ending.
Yeah. I thought it was great up until that point.
Yeah, no, it felt like a solid take. Just until the last 16 bars or so.
So you want to just grab those?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
I moved it at the same spot. During the take.
Thinking it's ending earlier than it is, or what?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was pretty impressed the first like 3 takes you did.
I know,
you nailed it without the lyrics there. I was like, man, he's counting the bars.
It's doing more because I was playing the wrong part.
Was that 5th?
Yeah, I hit the wrong note for
at the last
note. Yeah.
Still sounds good.
Yeah, it's diatonic.
Yeah.
Let's just do one more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not fair without the vocals.
Yeah,
That's
there
it.
was.
Sounds like music.
Sounded tight.
Excellent. I'll comp that in with the last full take.
What is this one? Is this just an effects return, basically?
It's a splitter.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have the little Lily, so it's basically like a A/B switch.
Oh, okay.
So when I have, like, for this band, I'll double on electric, and I can run my upright into my preamp and DI, and then I can have the electric and the upright plugged in and don't have to switch anything around. I can just
send one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It'd be nice if there was an option to have a Y in there too, but I don't really need it for anything. And they do make one, it's just more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I wish they've got like a stereo splitter,
Yeah.
which would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, yeah, twice as much.
Yeah.
So.
Now I need a DI or a preamp for my electric, because when I have both instruments running, I just get it sounding good enough for the upright coming out of my amp, because I bring an amp with me too and have control over that without it affecting the house, and it's just like my little bass wedge that I have all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just get that sounding good enough for the upright, and then the electric bass just gets what it gets.
Does its thing.
So I need a preamp for that, for coming out of the
We're 2 whole pedal
switcher.
boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
That's
funny.
what
I
I'm looking at.
have a
I'm
whole
like,
pedal
what am I gonna
board
do?
for my upright rig. It's an entire pedal board and not a single effect.
Oh, okay, right.
It's like just all this shit I have to carry around to make it sound like itself.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, I play classical guitar mainly, so
Cool.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this thing, it's like, depending on the scenario, it's, just always opening up a new can of worms for what kind of nuance frequencies you can be dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Get a compressor going.
I've thought about that. I have the Felix DI. It's like a stereo, basically almost fully parametric EQ on it, and it's got a notch filter, so I can usually squish something if I need to. But you can turn that notch filter into a high pass filter also.
And that's helpful.
Yeah, and then cut out a frequency from your mid scoop. And then it's got an adjustable Q on it also.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do to it.
Yeah.
Squishing it with all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
How you doing, man?
Hey, you're just recording everything in clean right now? Like, no analog here?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming through the fancy preamps with a little bit of the neve saturation on a couple of channels, but yeah, mostly clean. Mm-hmm. All right, and I don't.
Cool.
You brought a lap steel?
I have pedal steel.
Pedal steel.
Yeah.
Cool. So I would imagine right here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to mic it, so open to suggestions.
Yeah, I've got a 15-inch speaker with me today that's kind of on the brighter side.
Oh, nice.
You don't see those often.
Yeah, I bought it to be ready for anything. You know, that's a powerful amp, and I like the tube. It's like the only tube gear that I've got in here.
Oh, cool.
So,
Sam, this one or this
labor.
one? Right here.
The bronze one. Yeah, it's actually the case for the other one, but
Okay.
this is a more expensive hike.
Sorry. Talking about doing it.
Yeah, are you a guitar player?
Classical mostly though.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Did you go to music college for?
I did. I got a jazz and philosophy double at UNCA.
Wow, okay.
So I did jazz, but I focused more on classical since then. More wedding gigs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. How many weddings do you think you played last year?
Last year, not so many. I was focused on. I produced my first album earlier in the year, and then did some studio upgrades.
Okay.
So I did like 25 gigs last year, but
Compared
more
to
like
the year before, it was like
50, 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every week almost. It's like,
Yeah, that's almost too much. Sam, but Ian was saying he did like 90 gigs last year.
yeah, I counted.
That's
I think
nuts.
I was at 96. Yeah.
Yeah, also does. That's cool.
I would believe it. You guys both played a lot. I think we probably, Charles and I and me solo probably did at least 60 or so.
Yeah, I went back through January in my mind and I wrote down everyone that I got to play with. It's like right at 100 people.
In January?
No, in a year, but like going back was like from sessions or gigs, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I see. It's funny because I'll see pictures sometimes on social media, somebody that I like maybe know on the periphery or don't know at all, and I'll see you in the picture. I'm like, oh, he's Jackson.
That's just the DI?
That's just the dry signal.
Cool. Oh, well, it's missing my volume pedal. That's the problem.
Hmm.
I can give you it out of the pedal.
Yeah, let's do that instead. All right.
Okay, we can go back to what it was.
Cool. Yeah, let's trace it now.
Just come out of this. This would be orange coming out of the volume pedal. Is that right?
Sure, that works. Yeah, because you've got a splitter.
If it does work.
real, that's one of the reasons we took
Give me some volume out of there. Yeah, great. That's working now. And then I'm going to steal this from the amp and catch it on the way. So. Cool. Is that about as loud as you'll play? The loudest that you'll play?
Yeah, this is my pedal down. But I probably won't play that loud.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I think on that speaker, it's probably like maybe not right on the cone. Is probably a little close to the nose with that aluminum.
Oh, yeah?
It's kind of bright, you know. If you were
I know.
I'm not really the mic placement guy, but I know, like, I've got a hemp speaker and it's a lot darker. You can like get that mic right on the center of the cone even.
I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say that Sam is the mic placement
Yeah.
guy. He had 5 mics on that bass.
My chimes have mic.
That's how I learn over time, by making a bunch of mistakes. 4 of those bass mics are going to sound terrible.
Right. They're gonna have that one though. You're like,
Yes.
oh, hell yeah.
Are these okay to you?
They are, yes.
Yours.
Do you need anything else?
No.
Let's find out. Okay.
Shoulder rub?
I don't feel like I need to save that first take for anything. Did you need anything in the mix? Or
I don't think so. Let's try it. Let's see if we can just get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
It's loud in my headphones. I feel like am I giving you enough signal? I feel like my pedal is pretty low.
It's pretty low over here, but at certain points during the song you've hit it, so I'm not increasing the gain.
Yeah. I feel okay with it. Do you want to listen through or where are you at with time?
Moving on might be wise, but I think a listen through isn't crazy. But you could we have enough takes, I think, at this point for me to feel like, this needs to be fixed.
Yeah. The only things I wanted are in there. The B flat A, keeping that kind of as loose as I can. It's not in there the whole time, but it's in there enough. I got the lip between the vocal enough, I think, between two takes. And then we got 2 options with the 7 part.
Yeah.
We could check that chord slide up, but I mean, everything was pretty in tune. After you quantize it and auto tune
it, One take.
A hole in the sky for each generation. Lost in thought and paid to close their eyes. Bound by greed without expiration. Blind to need like birds in the night.
Do you feel pretty good about that?
Pretty good. Yeah, I would do it again probably, but
sounded good except that first line.
The first line?
Yeah.
Hole in the sky.
Sky?
It's like once you sing for a second, then you got pitch, hold it, but you're like coming in.
Yeah, that first line.
The rest sounded good though.
I can hit it again, but I want to get this other one too.
Okay, let's move on.
The work of the earth to hold and to offer.
Lovely.
Cool. Maybe I'll try the whole thing again.
Sure.
This too's revolution, this too can change your mind.
Mm-hmm. Sound good?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then there's the last chorus.
Let's do it. Happy if you're happy.
Yeah. What do you guys think? It sounds all right?
Yeah.
I thought the second chorus in that one
was a little off.
Yeah, but I think you nailed it on the first take.
Yeah, I guess the chorus we could just take and do it both.
And then I thought the very first line on that take too
needed a little something.
It was just a little shaky.
Yeah, that's the one spot that I'm feeling not so confident about.
Yeah,
just the very first.
Yeah, just do that first section up to the chorus. A hole in the sky for each generation. Yeah. Sounds pretty solid. This each. Maybe we'll throw a little auto tune on that.
Well, you can do it again.
I mean, what do you think about it? It's hard for me. I start like micro, like I don't know. We just listen back to it maybe real quick, and I want to leave time for everything. And
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I think the only thing I heard was like the first time was those first three notes. Beginning of a walk up. Just pitchy on the very first verse, but I'm not really hearing it like in the context.
Yeah.
It sounds like you. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhat obvious
What's
when
that?
it's wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. Put a little reverb on it. Hole in the sky for each generation. A hole in the sky for each generation. Yeah, I'm not like 100% happy with it, but with some reverb on it, maybe tweak it a little bit, I'll feel good about it.
You can try it one more time.
You want to get some water and do it one more time?
Well, I also want to be conscious of everyone's time.
Well, it's okay. You know, like we'll do what we can, and I'm not super worried about the interview part. This is the more important part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be a little water.
One more go at it.
Yeah, it's a pretty important part. The first thing that
yeah,
people hear.
first, and it's always like the hardest thing getting into it.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
A hole in the sky for each generation. I guess listen back and. Generation. Best one yet, for sure.
We can do another one.
A hole in the sky for each generation. Just realized I'm singing this one word wrong, but that's whatever.
Let's do one more actually, because you also sang quite a bit more quietly at that time, or farther away from the mic, or something.
Yeah, I was a little bit further away. A hole in the sky for each generation. I did it again, but whatever.
What's the
I'm singing for instead of from, but so my brain's just not allowing me to sing that word. But it doesn't really change the sentiment.
I thought it sounded good otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was great.
All right, let me just hear that, and then I don't want to.
Put the word.
Yeah.
That's funny. Been
Yeah, it's a silly thing. A hole in the sky for each generation.
there. That's great.
Happy with that.
Is it for each generation?
It's from each generation.
But
It's saying for, so it's kind of like dedicating it instead of blaming it. But hey, that's all right. That's just what I realized that I was like, that's what I've been singing, even though I have it written. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
Some part of you.
Yeah, they take on a life of their own.
They do. It's funny like that. You get somebody? Come on, get in there. Check. Banana boy. Check.
A little bit more.
Chickadee check.
1, 2.
Chickadee check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. Cause shotgun bullets are bad for your health.
All right, I'm rolling out in 8 minutes, but nice to see everybody. Nice to
Yeah, man, good to see you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You guys crushed it.
Thank you.
Excited to hear it.
Well, thanks again. I'll chop it right.